Let's talk about breaking through old limiting money beliefs and into positive money beliefs. So we want to go from here to here. Let's get into it. The topic of beliefs in your belief in anything is going to be very important because if you haven't watched my last video, we went into how beliefs create your reality. And I want to describe that a bit deeper here around money. Because what happens is an experience happens, some type of experience, and we'll talk about money. Some type of experience happens with money, where that may be you grew up around your parents thinking poorly about people who make a lot of money, rich people are bad, right? Or if your parents were caregivers or somebody in your life used to fight about money, money equals conflict, or any type of experience like that that could have been deemed as negative. So in a way, it's more of a traumatic experience, but we'll just call it the experience. That experience created emotions. And those emotions could have been anything from fear, anxiety, shame, guilt. If we have more of like a traumatic experience, right now we're talking about more like a negative experience or traumatic experience, creates emotions. And from that experience plus the emotions creates a belief. Now, with that belief, then creates your personal reality. Why? Because a belief shapes your perspectives. And what happens when you perceive something in a certain way? So say that you get a new opportunity. You get a new opportunity to take a new job that or take on some type of work that offers you X amount of compensation that could really bring you forward. Or you meet a new connection that if you continue to connect with them, it could lead to a new opportunity, right? And so when we have a perspective and we get an opportunity, depending on where our emotions are, if we act out of fear, we could end up sabotaging the opportunity. So we're going to say the emotion here is fear. That's what we're going to say. The belief is money equals conflict. This is just an example, just to help really drive this home. The experience was caregivers fought over money. Okay, so here's your personal experience, and then your belief creates your perspectives around the world of life. So that can cause you to, when an opportunity comes up, here's your opportunity. When you act out of fear, you can sabotage the opportunity, or you could avoid it. You could not even see it altogether. That happens all the time, where an opportunity is right in front of your face and your friend's like, why didn't you take that opportunity to chat with that person? Why didn't you step up to the plate there? And you just avoid it, or you don't even see it. You can procrastinate. You could be inconsistent. So you see where all of these kind of limiting behaviors lie. So this belief creates this perspective of life, which is more like your mindset. And then creates these behaviors, these limiting behaviors. So that's the thing, is that the belief creates your perspective of life and then creates how you show up in the world to sabotage, avoid, and it keeps you stuck in this in this reality that you've made up in your mind based off of what you experienced in your past. So you see, if your caregivers fought over money, it creates this fear around money. Money equals conflict is the belief. And then you're seeing life through a lens of money is bad. The conflict comes with money. And so when I see an opportunity, my mindset shapes these behaviors. And then I end up behaving in ways that create this reality of, I never have opportunities. I don't have enough money. I can't make more money. And you're stuck in this kind of like left-sided situation, right? So, what happens if we were to take another route? What happens if we were to go back and heal this experience? Meaning you have to go back to the experience and you're going to have to feel the emotions that were harnessed in your body. So that's what happens when we didn't have the space or the support to move through emotions when we were younger, or when the experience happened. They get trapped in our body and they create beliefs, which creates a mindset, which creates behaviors, which keep us stuck in loops of doom. And if we are to heal this experience, our caregivers fought over money, to healing it to a new emotion. How do I want to feel about money? I want to feel courageous about money. I want to feel excited about money. I want to feel hopeful, right? So if we were to heal this experience, go back, feel for the times that we didn't, be the adult that we needed at the time, and just soothe ourselves through that, cry it out, let it go, let it out, get support if you need to get support. We do this in the mastermind. We do this inside of the Money Expansion Club too. There's an entire course on how to really break down your limiting beliefs and heal from them. There's a whole 6-module course on it. And it really helps. We've got tons of great responses and great reviews back from people's experience. So you can get the support around healing that experience. There's probably more than one. Money is a super strong energy in the world because it really is like a necessity to survive, and it's not going anywhere. So once we do heal the emotions, because we did the healing work, we heal. And so we get a new emotion such as hope, courage. And then what happens? Hope and courage creates a new belief around money equals opportunity. And then if money equals opportunity, then your perspective of life is going to shift. So you're starting to see the difference between a person who has a skewed view of money versus a person who has a healthy and positive belief system around money. And it is really, truly the difference broken down between the belief systems in the mindset, given one person's experience and another experience. There's a lot of people out there who have had very positive experiences with money, growing up around money, which is great, but it is possible to shift. And that's what I'm showing you here right now, because when you heal your limiting belief, you start to create new emotions in the body and release this old emotion to make space for a more higher vibrating emotion. And the belief is money equals opportunity. So if somebody believes money equals opportunities, what are they more likely to do when an opportunity comes up? Oh, let me sit and talk about it with you. And so here we go. We have a new perspective, a new mindset around life. Money equals opportunity. When we get an opportunity, we are more likely to get curious. We are more likely to take action, to try, to get motivated, and to push forward, really, to have more of a forward moving mindset. So this is the difference between somebody who's stuck in their limiting beliefs and stuck and not moving and keeping themselves stuck in a pattern. You're literally stuck in like this loop of doom that just continues to just confirm its limiting belief over and over and over again. And if you've watched my other videos before, you're familiar with the pattern breaking method, the 4-step method to breaking a pattern. And this is just what you're doing, and you're stuck. When people say I'm stuck, I feel stuck. I haven't made any progress. No matter what I do, I hit those high highs, I hit those low lows. I'm not getting that uptrend. I'm not hitting that uptrend. Then you're probably stuck here in the limiting beliefs section, where you just keep confirming that limiting belief versus riding your uptrend and taking opportunities and seeing life from a new perspective in a new way. Your beliefs truly shape your reality. And I think some people say that in like a woo-woo way, like, oh, how you feel about the world is how you see the world. But nobody really takes the time to break it down for you, and how your beliefs truly do shape your reality, and why how you believe the world to be creates the world that you personally live in. And that is because your beliefs create a mindset, which creates behaviors, which creates how you show up in the world and the personal little world that you're living in. And the difference between this person and that person, and why somebody else can be making money and doing really well with money and feel good about it, and another person is stuck in debt, and another person is stuck in the same place or just making enough. Let's get into that. Let's get into accessing financial overflow, because that's going to be a big piece of breaking the belief system and breaking out of your capacity. Again, if you've been here before, one of my favorite words is capacity. And another one of my favorite things is reaching overflow with income. That is some of my favorite things to watch my clients do, is access that overflow. And you know what? Before we even get into capacity, we're going to go there. I want to touch on something that's really important, which is creating a financial foundation for you to receive that overflow. Because here's the thing. God is who gives us our money. God is who created us. God is who gives us everything in this life. And the thing that happens is God gives us money. We act up with the money, and then we wonder why we don't have any money anymore, and our belief system's all out of whack, and we're stuck in these old patterns. And it's because we didn't manage our money right. So before we get into capacity, and I don't usually touch on this stuff because we have an in-house financial advisor that usually works on this stuff, but I'll share more about like my method and how I manage my money so that it can give you an idea. But if you need like more support in that area of how to manage your own money, or how to create a money plan, inside the Money Expansion Club is the place to be, because we've got the in-house financial advisor and he helps with all of that kind of section of stuff. I focus more on the belief system and the mindset. So if you're going to have a foundation to receive income, and just like this, would you invest in somebody? Say I was starting a business, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for investors. I think this is going to be really fruitful. However, I didn't have a budget. I didn't have an income and expense sheet. I didn't put my money in the right places. I didn't have my money priorities in check. I didn't have my money values in check. And I'm asking you, hey, why don't you give me money to invest in me and to grow this business? I wouldn't invest in you. Probably the same reason why God's not investing in you, or God's not giving you the money, when you're sitting here like throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks, and you've got your money priorities out of line. Overflow is about understanding where your priorities lie first, and then allowing yourself to access the overflow, and then do what you want with the overflow, because money is totally meant to be enjoyed. And some people get mixed up in the guilt and the shame around enjoying money, and they keep themselves stuck in these patterns. So let's talk about it. Okay, a few things that you must have in order to have financial maturity and intelligence. Income and expense sheet. First things first. If you do not have an income and expense sheet, you do not know how your money is coming in, and you don't know where your money is going out, because how your money comes in says a lot about who you are, because it shows how you serve in the world, because money is an exchange of value. Money is simply a tool and a resource and an exchange of value, and that is how you give value, and you contribute to the world with your value, your personal skills, your knowledge, your experience. And it's up to you to say, like, am I living up to my potential in that area? and giving what it is I have to give in value in exchange for income, because the more value you give, the more money you make. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And then expense. How you spend your money says a lot about you. If you are focused on more like short-term, exciting expenses, then you're probably more focused on short-term areas of your life right now. I'm not saying what's right or wrong right now. All I'm saying is that's what that says about you. If you are more focused on long-term and building a long-term future and investing and putting your money in those areas, odds are where you're at right now is that you're focused on the future. Maybe you're getting ready to start a family. Maybe it is that you're getting ready to think about retirement. Maybe it is you're getting ready to think about generational wealth. Okay, so if you don't have an income and expense sheet, then you don't know those things about yourself, and you don't know, and you should know to a T, how much money you make per month and how much you spend per month and on what. Another thing that you need to have is your money priorities. Okay, that's important, and values. So if you don't know what your values are in life, I highly suggest that you sit down and you write yourself a value list, because that's going to really mess you up when you try to spend money, and every time you spend money you're like, I'm anxious about it. I don't know if I want to spend money on this. Oh, I regret it. I don't know. When you know your values, you know that you're spending your money on the right things. You know it. You know that, oh, I really do enjoy this, or this is really important to me. Like this is, it's a non-negotiable. It's not a question, right? So same thing with your money priorities. And this is different for everybody. Some people like luxury. Some people like country homes. Some people like living in the city. Some people like living in the sticks. Some people like the van life. It doesn't really matter what you're into, but where your money goes says a lot about who you are. So get your money priorities and values in check. And then what you want to do is you want to, and this is what I do. This is where I'm just going to tell you what I do for my personal finances. So I track my income. I know how much money I make. I track my expenses. And how I decide how much money I have to spend on things that I want to enjoy are, I have my necessities. I don't even know how to spell that. Necessities. Oh, ignore that. Okay. Necessities. And then I have my necessities are my bills. My necessities are food. My necessities are even clothes if I need clothes, like necessities, the actual necessities. And then I've got invest, and then I've got savings, and then I have overflow. This is really just a summary. But here's the thing, from top to bottom, my expenses, necessities, I invest. Okay, I do also, tithing is in here too. Tithing. I do tithe. And that's very important to me. So in this order: necessities, tithing, investing, savings, overflow. And what I do is I make sure I have my necessities paid. When I have my necessities paid, I tithe. After I have more money, I invest. And then I save. And then whatever I have in overflow is what I enjoy. That's what I get to play with. That's what I get to have fun with. And there are many times in my life where I have sacrificed. I have lived in closet-sized bedrooms. I still love to enjoy free things. I love going on picnics. I love nature walks. I've enjoyed many, many free things. And I go out less, spend money less. I cook at home. And those are just things that I have done to make sure that everything else was in check. And when I have the overflow, I can get something nice. I have this nice home. I really like my home. I have a nice car. I like my car. And I got all of those things because I had the overflow. And if I didn't have the overflow, I wouldn't have bought them. And yes, there's always more money you can invest. There's always more money you can save. And that's why I say, like, work with a financial advisor, Like I said, we have an in-house one in the Money Expansion Club that will chat with you in there, and he'll help you out. And he does live calls with us every month. And that's where you're going to have to decide what's right for you. I can't sit here and tell you how much to invest, how much to tithe, how much to save, but this is what I do. And it really helps because I noticed when I didn't have this, God was like, you don't have a money plan. Money loves direction. Loves direction. And if you're going to reach this overflow, which is what everybody wants, they're trying to break out of the limiting belief of just having enough, and they're trying to get away from living paycheck to paycheck, or they're trying to feel those emotions on the other side of the money that they want, which is those emotions. We talk about emotions all the time. Abundance, security, freedom. And it's really true. It's better here. Emotionally, it's better here. If you know my financial story, I sacrificed pretty much everything. I worked really hard in real estate. I bought properties, and now I have over $1 million real estate portfolio that keeps me feeling very abundant, secure, and free. And that's why I was able to start my business, and I was able to have this freedom to take action and do different things. And I could finally enjoy money. But what do you have to do to get there? While you're working towards increasing in these areas here, you have to delay short-term gratification. So that means you have to delay the short-term feelings of freedom, the short-term feelings of security and abundance and all of that. When you do have a great month and you're like, I want to feel that freedom and that abundance for this month because I made a lot of money and I want to go spend it and enjoy it. And if you were to instead put it into accounts, make smart, mature financial decisions with your money, and you delayed those feelings for now, you would feel these long term. Unless my houses, something happens to them, I have these feelings for life. And I have not just these feelings for life for myself, but for my kids and for my kids' kids, as long as these properties are in the family, as long as my investments are in the family, as long as all of this is there. And that's the thing. You can have this long term if you're willing to delay short term gratification and these short term high of emotions, of the emotions that you crave so badly. Instead of feeling them on a high for a month or two, you can feel them for your whole life. And that's how you break out of old limiting beliefs and you shift from low vibrating emotions to high vibrating emotions to then continue on that path energetically with money as you grow. That's how you change your life for yourself and for the future generations, for your lineage, and for the people around you that you inspire, which is, I think, is pretty cool. I think that energy is contagious. I think that who you are in this world sends out vibrations. You can feel them, and it's inspirational. And I think it makes a big change in this world. I think that's all God wants from us, is to really show up as the people that he made us to be. And in the Bible, it says a ton of stuff about wealth that I've learned, and it's so awesome. It says that wealth is good. Wealth from God is good. Righteous wealth is good. And to pay what you owe. And many other different scriptures there and verses there. It's really, really awesome. All right, let's talk about capacity. So if you're going to expand your capacity to reach the overflow, there's something very important you're going to need to do. And we're going to end with this. So here's your current capacity. So let's say you're sitting at, I always use this number because it's easy, 50K per year. But depending on who you are, call it 75K per year, call it 500K per year, wherever you're at and wherever you're trying to expand to. So this is your current capacity. What does that mean? That's your current comfort zone. That is your current belief system. That is your current emotional state. All of the emotions that we talked about are inside of here. And what happens when you expand, when you release those old emotions, like we were just talking about, and you shift your mindset and you start moving towards that right side we were talking about, where you start shifting your mindset and changing the behaviors, your life changes. What happens when your life changes? You start navigating the unknown. Let's do this. Anything outside of this circle is unknown. Anything outside of here is unknown. And what happens when a human being navigates the unknown? It's frightening. It's frightening. It's anxiety provoking. And especially if you grew up in a household where you couldn't trust your caregivers, where you couldn't trust people around you, if you've had trust broken in your life, which most of us have, then you are going to have a hard time getting into the unknown. You probably like a lot of control. You probably like to know what's coming next and next and next, which is a big reason why you stay here in your current capacity, because that's your comfort zone. It's everything that you know. I know these emotions. I know this place. I know this amount of money. I know all of that. But when you charter the unknown and you expand, one, a couple things happen. Your life changes. I can't tell you the amount of friendships I've grown out of, the amount of relationships and boundaries I've had to set, the people pleasing patterns I've had to break. I've had to show up better. I've had to show up as a newer version of myself. I had to take on more responsibility, and I had to manage my stress better, because what's on the other side of making more money is a lot of good things, but also it comes with more. If you want the more, it comes with more in all areas of your life, not just the good side of your life, but also more responsibility. Like there's more weight there. You have to show up and you have to actually deliver that value consistently. You actually have to be the person that you say you are. You have to be honest. Like there's so much that comes with it, and you have to manage your stress because there's more going on there. There's more value, there's more weight, and can you handle the weight? And so a lot of people keep themselves stuck in that fear of success, is what I call it. And if there's that fear of success, you're not going to want to go into the unknown. I'll stay right here. I don't want to sacrifice more of my time. I don't want to do all of these things that it requires to step in and be the elevated version of myself. But when you do step 2 feet and make a decision, because that's what they say, success is a decision. Making more money is a choice, and it is, and that's why it is, because you're finally deciding, I'm going to step out of my capacity and I'm going to expand out here. Who knows what's out here? We don't know. There's a lot going on out here. You've never been here. It's new. Oh, my perfectionism, that circle is not it. Not it. And that's the thing. It takes a conscious choice, and you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't know how you're going to be with that money. You know, when people win the lottery, they start acting the fool. They really do, because they've never been there. It's too much for their system, and they end up fumbling the ball, and that's why that happens. So, but if you take the steps and you move through the discomfort, okay, here it is. When they say success is found in the discomfort, they mean it. Because when you are stretching through the unknown and you are expanding your capacity, you are expanding. Like I'm talking, it's not comfortable. It is not, you're not comfortable. Things are happening. Things are changing. Things are moving. Like there's so much going on. You'll have sleepless nights and you'll be like, wow, okay, this is what it looks like to be that elevated version of myself. Are you up for it? You can decide to stay here, or you can decide to come out here and create a new capacity. You could be sitting here at 100K per year, right? Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's 1 million. Whatever it is you want to expand to, but take your steps. Take your baby steps. Like some people try to expand too quickly using manifestation and force techniques. Really, listen, like if you don't have the foundation to hold for it, you're gonna like shoot up and then shoot back down and then shoot up and shoot back down. And we don't want to ride the high highs and low lows, because what happens? You end up staying exactly where you are on that left side that we had broken down earlier. Rather than if you take smaller dips and you just keep riding your uptrend, you are trending upwards. I would rather invest in that stock than that stock. Okay? We want to ride the uptrend, and we want to do that through taking our steps and moving with our energetic system, moving with our inner system, and honoring our system, and taking our capacity breaking steps in the ways that we need to through the pattern breaking method, through breaking patterns, and through elevation and stepping into the unknown and growing and expanding. So, whatever that looks like for you, honor your system, talk to God, pray on it, get support. Like I said, the Money Expansion Club is awesome for that. There's an entire course where we talk to you about expanding your capacity, breaking your own limiting beliefs and patterns around money. And then there's workbooks involved, there's homework involved, and then there's forums where we can support you through any questions. And then we meet every month. The financial advisor will meet with you, and then also I will meet with you and coach you through any money blocks. And that's really where the shifts happen. And then ask any questions around the course. It's awesome. The accountability is through the roof there. People are getting amazing results. And I'll tell you, the point is to master money instead of allowing money to master you. Because what happens when money masters you? You can't hear God. You can't hear that inner guidance. You feel lost. You feel stuck. And it's not about manifesting and hitting those highs and being like, yeah, millions of dollars. And then it's like crash and burn. Like, we want to live a long-term sustainable life. Like, I'm not in the business of helping you shoot through the roof like some teachers are and be like, yeah, like just quadrupled my income, and then you can't hold for it. I'm in the business of helping you create a life, a long-term life of success and fulfillment. I don't want you to just have success. And if you do, I'm not the coach for you. But if you actually want to be successful and happy and live a God-centered life and be guided by that inner guidance and feel the emotions that you're meant to feel on a long-term basis, which is like that happiness, that joy, that love, all the good stuff. Gosh, it's so possible. I'm only standing here in front of you because I've experienced it personally. So I hope that was helpful. And that's all I have for you for today. Leave any comments. If you have any comments or you took any notes, I would love to hear them. And yeah, tune in for the next one.